Relocating for work can feel overwhelming, especially when you've got a tight timeline, a house to sell, and a family to move. What if I told you there's a simple step-by-step checklist that takes the stress out of relocating? In this video, I'll walk you through the 6 steps you need for a stress-free relocation to the Tri-Cities, Washington. By the end, you'll feel confident, organized, and in control of your move. And stick around to the end where I'll show you how to get a completely personalized, step-by-step checklist customized specifically to you and your family's needs. The first step on the checklist is to get clear on your timeline. Don't underestimate how long relocating can take. When you're moving hundreds or thousands of miles away, you have a house to sell or a rental agreement to finish out and get everything packed up, organized in a moving truck, and clear across the state or across the country to the Tri-Cities, it can take way longer than you think. Looking at your start date when your kids are going to be ending their current schools and starting their new schools, figuring out when all those things are going to be happening and when they're all going to come together can be overwhelming. So sitting down and making a list of all of those dates and putting them into an organized spreadsheet of some sort can help your mind feel at ease and help take some of the guesswork out of the timeline. And make sure when you're doing that you pad in some extra time for any delays that may happen along the way. The last thing you want to do is have a timeline that doesn't account for those delays, and suddenly you're scrambling to find temporary housing, moving truck at a time when you weren't anticipating needing it, or something else of that sort. The next step in the process, create a relocation budget. This is super important. You want to know what those finances are going to look like. Depending on how your relocation is structured, your new employer may be offering a relocation package, or they may not be. If they're offering relocation benefits, you want to know what those are and how much they're covering and exactly what they're covering. Knowing that information will help you make a plan and help you know what are the costs that they're going to cover, what are the costs you need to cover, where is that gap going to be, and where are you going to come up with the funds to make up the difference. Set up the relocation budget, keeping in mind any hidden costs. If you want to know more about those hidden costs, I made a great video that the entire thing is about that topic, so feel free to check that out. But being prepared for those hidden costs will help you make sure that your budget isn't set where there's no flex. You want to make sure that you're not hit out of nowhere with costly, unexpected items, and build in some slush in that for things that you were not anticipating. The next item on the list, research the community. Check out the area, go online, get as much details as you can, find out the differences in the different neighborhoods as best you can online, get information on the school districts, get information and make sure that the things that are important to your family are available here, whether that's the type of schools that you're looking for your kids, the type of activities you want to do, the type of medical care that you might need. You want to do that research ahead of time so you're not hit with any surprises. So now you know your timeline, you've looked at your budget, you're doing that research, you're starting to feel confident about the move. All these things are lining up and helping you get a little bit more centered on the move and feel a little more confident with each step. Step 4 in the process is partnering with a local relocation expert. As you've put everything into order, now you want to make sure that you go out and find somebody who can help you here locally to get you information on specific houses, to answer questions on specific neighborhoods, to take additional virtual tours for you, to help you with scheduling a pre-move visit so that you can come out in person and get a community tour and see some of the houses you've seen online, because you know that when you look online, sometimes it looks great, and then when you show up, it's not always what you were expecting. So having somebody that can go out and preview homes for you and answer those questions and set up that pre-move tour and things like that is going to be priceless. You want to make sure the expert has a lot of knowledge in the area of relocation, because it is much different than a standard move across town. When you're moving out of state, there's a lot of different moving pieces and parts. You want someone who can manage all those for you and can take care of everything with expert concierge care. Step 1 was clear on your timeline. Step 2, create that relocation budget. Step 3, you started researching your new community, and then you did the important step of getting hooked up with a relocation specialist to help you with your move. And so now it's time to start planning the actual logistics. Looking at all the items in place. Are you going to be in temporary housing when you first arrive in the Tri-Cities? Or are you going to have time to come out ahead of time, find a house, get that house under contract so that when you get here, you can just move into the new home? You want to look at all those things and jot those down in your notes app or wherever you're keeping notes about the move. And then look at that, and off that, you want to base, okay, From this information, when am I potentially going to need the moving trucks? Am I going to potentially need a storage unit to store all my items in? These things start coming together once you have the other steps in place. So all the chaos and the overwhelm actually starts making sense when you're doing everything in the right order. One thing builds on the next, and it starts to feel more like a cohesive plan and less like stressful chaos. So you got your move logistics and things somewhat in order now based on all that, and you're starting to feel more confident about everything. And the last step I have on the checklist for you today is to plan your arrival in the Tri-Cities. This is super important. When you're packing, when you're moving, you want to have a plan in place for what that first couple of days here in the Tri-Cities is going to look like. If you're going to come into town and you're going to need a hotel, you want to make sure you've saved out the clothes, the items, the things you need. If you're purchasing a home, are you going to be closing on the home before you arrive in the Tri-Cities, or are you going to be purchasing once you arrive? If you're purchasing once you arrive, and also if you're purchasing before you arrive, you want to make sure you've saved out all the important documents. This is huge. I can't tell you how many times I've run into a situation where my clients get to closing and realize they have packed all of their important documents into boxes and put them somewhere ready for the move, and now they can't find what they need. So make sure that you find all the important documents you need for closing and pack those all up together so that you have them ready and easily accessible for the day of closing. Now, if you're closing on your new home before you move to the Tri-Cities, that might be getting done via mobile notary. If that's the case, just make sure as you're packing up your household that you set your important legal documents to the side so that when the mobile notary person arrives at your house, it's easy to grab those. They're not lost in the chaos of boxes. But also, if you're coming to the Tri-Cities and then doing the closing on the new home once you arrive, you want to make sure you know exactly where those things are at in your baggage so that you can easily grab those and head to the title company to sign the papers. With that said, you want to make sure that you have some boxes organized for use immediately upon arrival. Whether it's temporary housing or your brand new house, you want to know where those important things are that you're going to need to really settle in those first couple of nights in your new home. Whether that's items to cook a meal for you and your kids, your children's most special stuffies, or most important and precious items that make them feel comfortable and at home. So go ahead and set aside a special box or a special bag where your kids can have their most important things, special blankets, special stuffies, things that are going to make them feel really comfortable that first night, whether it's in a hotel, whether it's in a temporary home, or in your brand new house. You want to make your kids feel settled when they arrive here and make yourself feel settled by having whatever those items are that make you most comfortable to make that ease and transition into your new home really seamless. Your relocation doesn't have to be super stressful. It's going to have a little stress, of course. Any move does. And moving from across the state or across the country to the Tri-Cities is going to be extra stressful just because of being located somewhere else and having that long distance component. But that stress doesn't have to be completely overwhelming, and it doesn't have to include chaos. With this checklist, you can break everything down step by step, and each step builds on the next so that it becomes more organized and less chaotic. And here's my bonus tip for how to make it even more streamlined. Schedule a strategy session with me, and we can put together an absolutely customized, personalized list specific to you and your family's needs. I would be more than happy to do that with you, and having that customized list specific to your exact move will be priceless. If that sounds good to you and you would like to set up this customized relocation, go ahead and look down below in the comments. I've got a relocation guide down there that you can grab to help you get started. And when you download that guide, your information will get sent to me so that we can connect up and we can start planning the relocation process personalized and specific to you and your family's needs. I look forward to helping you with your move to the Tri-Cities, Washington. I'm Hillary Templin, real estate broker and relocation specialist here in Kennewick, Washington.